Morning all, welcome back to the channel. It's Monday morning. Hope you've all had a good weekend. I am currently heading back up into the borders today. I've got a 140 LCR-7 to service on behalf of another dealer. Getting good at doing other people's work. Yeah, I've got a 140 to go and service, but the site manager sent me a WhatsApp yesterday saying that the machine will only idle and that the gauges on the screen aren't working, so God knows what's wrong with it. I've got a feeling I've got another EPOS that's faulty, but I don't have one to rob off at Carlisle. I don't have one in stock to take with me, so we're gonna have to go and have a look and see what it is and go from there. Yeah, I have a feeling it'll be the EPOS though, although if it's starting, he said it was idling, I'm not too sure. Anyway, I've got that to look forward to. It was going to be a straightforward service, and then there's another service in the woods on the way back down the way for one of my good customers. Whether we'll get to that second service today, I'm not too sure. You know how the day just unravels. Right, I'll point my van north and we'll catch you up there. Right, we're on site. He's just going to finish digging that foundation there, and then he's going to fetch the machine over to where I'm sat because I'm out of the way. So that machine needs a 250 and a 500 hour service. 250 first service is, I think it's engine oil filter and a return filter and a pilot filter, I think. And then a 500 hour service is basically an engine service, engine oil and 2 fuel filters. So really it's just needing a return filter on top of a 500 hour service. The machine seems to be revving and running as it should do, so evidently we've got an intermittent fault. So I'll put my laptop on it and see what it's sort of recorded, and we'll go from there, see what it's going to need, if it needs anything. I've got a feeling there's an issue with the EPOS, and it's probably going to be software. We know how that goes. But anyway, hopefully if all goes well, I've got a 160 to do a 500 hour service on the way back down the road. So on paper it's all achievable today. I'm here earlier than I expected to be here, because obviously the guys, I was booked in at 10 o'clock to come here while they're on the bait, or having the 10 o'clocks. That's what the plan was, and then when he messaged us yesterday, just come as soon as he can. So yeah, it's 9:20. Yeah, that's what the crack is. I'll catch you when the machine gets here. Right, so there's a couple of error codes logged. There's quite a lot of error codes logged on the machine when I've looked in the failure log for EPOS and gauge panel communication. There's a couple of those, so I will look at the software version on the EPOS, but first I'm going to get all the servicing done. That way when they come back off the bait, if they need the machine, they can have it back. And we'll go from there. So got my hub set up. I'm going to drop the engine oil first and then get the hubs draining. Right, that's that digger serviced. I've put my laptop on it. Software version in the EPOS controller was below par, so got that sorted. Just have to see how it goes from now on. Yeah, we'll just see what happens. So next job is away back down towards Carlisle now. It'll be up in the woods, so be nice and peaceful, and I can sort of enjoy the rest of the day. Just stop to take in the view. Look at that, tremendous. What a nice day it is. I spotted that digger from the bottom road, and I thought it might be this one, but if you look away in the distance, away, that's the digger that I'm looking for. This one next to me is a 210. So I'll go along this road and eventually we'll get there. It's been a long drive in. The timber wagons have really chewed it up. So yeah, that's where I'm heading anyway, away in that direction. So as you can hear in the background, I've got the engine running. This machine hasn't been started all day, so just warming the engine through. I've got the final drive set up there ready to drop. It was asked in one of my videos asking what these machines do in the forest. So they repair sort of forestry roads like this, but these 160 high tracks are favoured for the mounding work. Now what they'll do is they'll space out mounds, little piles of earth like this. There is a bit of a science to it. I always thought that they just kind of put a mound next to each tree stump, but there has to be so many mounds within a certain square meterage. So there is a bit of a science to it. What they'll do is they'll mound it out like this, and then once they finish the site, a planting team will come and they'll put a little sapling in like this. And if you actually look, you've got another mound, another mound, another mound, another mound. And I can see it, the camera probably won't pick it up, but there's saplings in each and every mound all the way up the hillside there. So yeah, that's what those machines are doing. So as nice as sort of all these trees are treated as crops, just like a farmer would plant barley or wheat or maize. These trees are a crop, and in 30 years time this crop here will be felled and it'll go off to make paper or biomass or timber products, everything like that. So that's what they're doing here. The high tracks are favoured for this sort of work because as they're going up the racks, the ground clearance of the machine allows them to go up over the stumps. They don't actually have to, some machines, and depending on the row spacing as well I suppose, but you have to like peel out a row of stumps as you go so you can travel without causing any damage to the underneath of your machine. But because these high tracks have such a high ground clearance, a lot of the time they can just travel up over the stumps. So that's why these high tracks are preferred doing this sort of mounding work. So yeah, very interesting it is. Right, I'll get my boiler suit on. It's an absolutely lovely day, like it is, and it's nice to be, once that engine's off, it'd be nice to be in the peace and quiet. So yeah, right, we'll crack on with this one. What a day. Start to enjoy yourself when the weather comes nice like this. Right, 1500 hour service on these Dash 7s is just a 500 hour service. On the previous generation there'd be an AdBlue filter to do as well, but everything that I need to service is right in this door. 1, 2, 3, 4, so it'll not take long. I've drained my final drive oil as usual, engine oil's out of it, so yeah, we'll get this one changed. got this machine serviced. I put the camera on a time lapse on that tree stump there, thinking that'll make a nice shot. Basically all you've seen of that whole service is that much, so that is total fail. But I'm sure you've seen plenty of time lapses of me servicing. I've done another one this morning, so you get the gist. You've seen where I'm at. So yeah, what I'll do is I'll pack up there now, so we're not that late in the day. I'm going to head back to the yard, get loaded up for tomorrow. I've got a big service on a shovel tomorrow, and then I'll answer one of the questions that was in one of the videos, asking as a apprentice what are the best sort of tools to set off with. So stay tuned for that. In fact, that's what will be in the next clip, I think, unless something Jurassic happens on the way home. So we're all loaded up, and that is me clocked off for the day. It's about 5:45 now. So yeah, one of the questions in one of my videos, and I can't remember which video it was, and I couldn't remember which video to direct them to have a look, but the question was, as an apprentice starting out, what tools would I recommend? So I take that as starting from scratch. If you're starting from scratch as an apprentice, I wouldn't buy anything sort of straight away. For the first 3 to 6 months or so, I would imagine you'll be shadowing somebody that's got the tools anyway, so you'll be sort of slowly picking things up. But when I first started with the first company that I worked for, they were really good. They spent £400 on us to get me set off. They bought me a toolbox and a handful of tools, and to be fair, I didn't need an awful lot more than that. So I'll show you what sort of tools they were. So in these 3 boxes here, you've got 1/2 inch, 1/4 drive and 3/8 drive. That's a 3/8 drive socket set. In there you've got sort of shallow and deep sockets, which I think go from 7 up to 24mm, and that's 3/8 drive, as well as a few Allen key headed ones and Torx headed ones. And this one is a 1/4 drive one, and again that is, I think that goes from 5 up to 13mm, and they're also shallow and deep, as well as different sort of Phillips head screwdriver shaped ones and Allen keys, etc, etc. And then this is just a 1/2 inch socket set with a 1/2 inch drive ratchet and a mini bar, and that goes from 10mm up to 32mm, and they are shallow sockets in there, and that is that's what I've had for the last, what I've been doing this now 13-14 years. They're really, when I've looked at the price of them, they're really well priced for what you get, and they sort of stand up to the job as well. So I'd definitely recommend those. So they're Blue Point. Look them up. They're really good, and like I say, that's what I got set off with sockets wise. So without sort of doing a sort of toolbox tour, this is part of 2 sets of spanners that they got me as well, Brittle spanners. They're a lovely spanner. You see how the profile of them is quite sort of rounded, so they're dead comfy to hold when you're sort of pulling really hard and something that's really stubborn to come away. I've got 2 sets of those Brittle spanners, and they go from 10 to 19mm, so that's 2 sets of them. And then about 18 months later, I got some snap-on ratcheting spanners, but to be fair, like I say, you can get away with just using spanners for the first sort of year, 18 months, no bother at all. Set of screwdrivers, Phillips and flat. That is one of the original screwdrivers, although I think that's, oh no, there's another one here, look, there's that one there. That's all that's left of the originals. They've probably been lost over the years, I can't imagine. Oh yeah, that one is broken a bit like, but they still serve a purpose, so I tell myself. They're not, I don't even think they're branded. No, I don't think they're branded. I have got some snap-on screwdrivers, which they're alright, is what I'll say. I've found, to be honest with you, your Facom screwdrivers have been the best, especially the posi drives ones for taking dash panels apart. The snap-on ones seem to sort of want to pull out as you're twisting it to unscrew something, so yeah. needle nose pliers, normal pliers, pipe pliers, and a decent set of side cutter snips as well. They're actually Nipex ones, and I found them while I was PDIing a digger. But I've got a set of snap-on ones as well, they're good. What else would I recommend? I was given a multimeter as well when I started, as well as a set of Allen keys. The multimeter, I got a multimeter and a test lamp, and to be honest with you, I didn't know what the hell I was doing with a multimeter. I could make sense of a test lamp but not a multimeter. But again, you kind of pick things up, and as you start to play with things, you'll learn how things work. I haven't got that multimeter anymore. I think I ran over it with a digger in the end. So I've replaced that, but I didn't replace it with anything savagely expensive. I think it would have only been 30 or 40 quid, sort of middle of the road job. But that would definitely be my advice. Don't spend a fortune on branded tools. Just get kind of a decent middle of the road kind of a job, because at the end of the day, if you go out and spend 400 quid on a socket set, then think about how many hours work you're working to pay off that socket set that you need to do your job. So that's my kind of mentality with tools. Unfortunately, I'm spending 400 quid on a socket set, then I've got to work X amount of hours to pay that off before I can start paying for putting food on the table or paying the mortgage. So yeah, that's the way I look at it. Bit of a miserable way to look at it, I suppose, but it is what it is. And yeah, you'll get a kind of feel of what you're going to be working on. If you're working on sort of big heavy plant, 3/4 socket set, inch socket set, I've got some big breaker bars there as well. But if you're working on small plant or cars or vans, I would imagine 1/2 inch would cover a lot of this stuff. Yeah, you'll get a feel for what you need. You will. I wouldn't go out buying impact guns or out like that until you sort of through your time, really, because I would imagine while you're an apprentice you'll be helping somebody or shadowing somebody, so you can sort of borrow and use their stuff. I think there's an unwritten rule in a workshop, if you're working in a workshop, once you're out your time, if you've borrowed something off somebody 2 or 3 times, then that kind of justifies having one of your own, and sort of the way I look at it. But yeah. Toolbox wise, it is a snap-on toolbox, and I picked that up second hand for 250 quid. I don't think any of the draw sliders are genuine. I mean, some of these bigger drawers have got double draw sliders on, because the original ones I don't think they stood up. So yeah, this box I got for 250 quid. It was sort of white, and I got it just before Christmas, and there was a bit of slack time at work, so I've painted it all Doosan colours. And I say I don't care about it, I'd be lost without it, and I wouldn't like to replace it, because you can quite easily go and spend 3.5 grand on a toolbox, with nice roller bearing drawers, but as soon as you put it in the back of the van, I think the warranty's void. And when it is in the back of the van, I've seen the sort of forestry roads that I travel, the roller bearings just don't last 5 minutes. I mean, this toolbox here, it's a brittle toolbox. I've had it 5, nearly 6 years now. I got it when I just started at Gordon's. Yeah, you could probably spend a lot more money on a toolbox than what I spent on this, but this has got roller bearing drawers, and some of these drawers, the bearings have gone in them. Yeah, the bearings are probably only 20 or 30 quid, but the point of doing that every 18 months, it's not a fun job. So yeah, that's what I would recommend for an apprentice sort of just getting set off. Right, I'm going to round the video up here. Hopefully it's amounted to some sort of content for a Monday video. As you can see, tomorrow I've got a shovel service to go to, but first I've got a 140 LCR to go and see. Just phoned in as I was packing the van for today, for tomorrow, sorry. It's got an oil leak, so I have to go and try and squeeze that one in, but thankfully it's in a sort of similar area as to where the 420 shovel is that I'm going to service. So thanks for watching, hope you've all had a good weekend, and if you've enjoyed the video, please give it a like. See you in the next one.